Hello everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of the original Red Couch Talk. Today with us we have Chief Hambel. Thank you very much for joining me. I appreciate it.
I'm happy to be here.
Great. Chief, do you mind letting our residents know who you are, what department you're with, and how you can be reached?
Yes, so my name is Mike Hambel. I'm the acting chief right now for the West Covina Fire Department. I can be reached anytime, Monday through Thursday at City Hall at Fire Administration, and I can be reached by phone at 626-939-8824. And additionally, we do have multiple social media platforms that you can search at West Covina Fire and reach out to us through social media.
Okay, very good. And we will also have that listed at the end of our video, so they can reach you. Chief, I do want to ask, how old were you when you realized you wanted to become a fireman?
So I was about 14, and sometimes I don't always like to admit this, but it was because there was a career expo at my high school, and I could get out of English class if I went to go to the firefighter expo. So I went there, and it sounded very interesting, and I applied for the scout program. So about 14 years old was when I got into this. Oh,
wow, very young. Yeah. Okay, and about how long did it take you to take on the role as a chief?
So the acting chief position here is a temporary position by nature.
Okay.
Right now we have a recruitment out for the chief. So my career so far has been with West Covina 13 years. Came through the ranks as a firefighter, paramedic, and a captain. And before that I was a wildland firefighter in the county of Los Angeles.
Oh, interesting.
So it's been about 17 years total of experience of the paid professional experience. And then right now I'm going 4 months as the acting chief until the city finishes their recruitment.
4 months. Okay, so typically how long does the temporary position hold for?
You know, it just depends on how long it takes to find a good candidate that's a good match with our department and our city. And these positions that are acting are usually limited to about a year.
About a year? Okay. Were there any difficulties that you faced becoming a fireman?
You know, the testing process for the fire departments in general are a very competitive process. I myself took over probably 50 civil service exams trying to become a firefighter, ranging everywhere from Chula Vista to the Bay Area out to Las Vegas. The process itself is very competitive, it's difficult, and throughout it all you have to keep your edge to show that you are the best candidate when you're going against, you know, up to thousands of people for some cities.
I see. In your experience, what is more difficult, the written part of it or the physical part?
For me, it was always that that interview, getting the nerves down, having 3 or 4 high-ranking chiefs sitting across from you on a desk to kind of grill you. And,
sounds pretty intimidating.
Yeah, they put the pressure on for sure. So trying to keep your nerves down and show that you can handle the pressure. The written exams, I always did good enough to move on. It was the oral exams, which is always my personal difficulty.
Yeah, I shared some of that same fear with you. It's hard to get through that sometimes.
Yes.
In addition to that, you being only temporary, I understand that, but what brings you to West Covina? Is it just that temporary position, or have you worked in West Covina before?
So yes, I actually came to West Covina. Speaking to being a very competitive environment, I was when I was a wildland firefighter for the county of Los Angeles, I was looking to get somewhere into a municipal department on a fire engine in a more urban environment. And I became a paramedic on my own through community college training. And West Covina happened to be one of the cities that required a paramedic certification, some previous fire experience, and training at the community college level to even apply. A small city like this, they usually get their training, they get their firefighters already trained. So it takes it down from thousands of applicants down to maybe about 100, so it's a little bit better odds.
I see.
So when I applied here, I got the job, and my entry into West Covina was as a firefighter paramedic back in 2006.
Okay.
And came through the ranks up until now to this temporary spot. And that's how I got here.
I see. Interesting. What are a lot of the safety issues you think that the homeowner would take care of that would prevent disasters such as a fire, electrical outage, etc.?
So we always try to stress the importance of preparation and early detection. So smoke detectors are one of the biggest things that we always want people to have in their homes, inside every sleeping area, in every bedroom, outside every sleeping area, and then carbon monoxide detectors on every level of a multi-level house. Aside from that, is also be having a plan. Practice that plan with your family, have a meeting place outside. Once you get outside, we always say you get out and you stay out, and obviously call 911 to prevent any kind of fire or even electrical outages, stuff like that. You just have to be sufficient in your own home to plan for these disasters and to be ready if you were to have a fire.
Okay. Well, the same question, but in regards to businesses.
Yeah, so businesses are a little different because we don't sleep here, but you still have to prep for disaster. So businesses have some code requirements that are usually maintained by the local fire department, like West Covina Fire Department. Firefighters will come and do business inspections, and they'll check to make sure your fire extinguishers are compliant. If your business involves cooking, if you have a hood system or grease traps and all these different hazards that are specific to your business, we always encourage maintenance and general housekeeping. Usually the cleaner a business is, the easier it is to prevent these kind of things. And then finally, I'll say that the storage of all whatever you're selling, or if you're having that, is we do have exits that we don't want to see blocked if it's in a business. Or around the holiday times, we'll get a lot of merchandise ready through November and then December up until Christmas. We always want to encourage good housekeeping and not storing things unsafely.
Okay. And for the residents, is there a site that they could go to, or maybe just walk into your station to get a list of requirements for residential or business?
Yeah, so the City of West Covina adopts just the International Fire Code, which is a very thick document that I wouldn't suggest anybody read for light reading. But yes, most businesses are aware, once you've been in business once and you've met our inspectors, or even through the process of getting your business license, of the requirements. Homes, we don't go into private homes and inspect them, but there are places you could go to see for disaster preparedness, whether it be the LA County disaster, the LA County emergency preparedness websites. Even the Red Cross is a great website to visit for some references on how you could keep your home safer.
Okay. On that note, excuse me. On that note, with all the recent earthquakes that have been happening and going on, is there any place that you would suggest that they go locally?
To go locally and plan for an earthquake, we always say that the plan would really be to plan for an earthquake by having a plan to begin with, an out-of-state contact, a disaster kit, secure your furniture, your televisions, your large pieces of furniture, inspect your home for, things that might be a hazard if your walls start to move, don't have bookshelves above sleeping areas. Once you do that, once you get all those things done, then you start to develop your kit. The suggestion's always been a 10-day kit of water and food, so that you could be sufficient for yourself when emergency services will not be accessible like they are on a day-to-day basis. So we always encourage that self reliance when you might not have our help immediately.
Very good. And I know the first thing people want to do when there's an earthquake is run outside.
Oh, yeah.
So is that suggested, or should they stay inside and get through it?
It all depends on how close it is, but we always say, get down, take cover. That still applies. A lot of times the safest place is it would be underneath large pieces of furniture, within a well-framed area of a home, depending on when your home was built and things like that. If you can get outside and away from structures, that would be probably one of the safest places. And then once you're outside, obviously stay out and then start looking for hazards. If it's your home, shut off your gas, look for water leaks, stuff like that.
I see. Well, thank you. There any services that you guys offer to get safety kits? Because I know sometimes there's different events that the fire department has held in the past.
Yeah. So, Fire Service Days in May. We have our Fire Prevention Week coming up in October. where we'll have an open house at our fire station too. You could go to westcovina.org and search this stuff on our city website and page, as well as our own social media, which I think you said you'll be linking to at
Right,
the end.
yes.
At these things, a lot of times we'll have giveaways, disaster kits. The Los Angeles County Disaster Management Services, which is part of the LA County Greater Agencies, we have a joint agreement with them where they will come out and provide us with, little first aid kits,
Okay.
tips, tricks, and stuff like that to give yourself more prepared for a disaster. And then additionally, you could always come into City Hall and visit the front desk there if you have specific questions about disaster preparedness or what we offer. And we can always point
That's
you in
good
the
to
right
know.
direction.
Yeah. That's very good. And with all the recent cutbacks that they're doing, how do you see that affecting your department?
So my department's been has not been immune from these cutbacks. We actually our fire station number 4 had the engine company taken off of our daily roster. So we are running 6 firefighters short overall in our department, which translates to it's an additional engine company out of our 5 stations. We used to have 6 companies. So we've made do with that. We're really on the upswing of trying to identify some alternative funding sources to try and bring back these services and look at alternative models if we can maybe alter the way we're doing business to provide a level of service that this community needs.
Right, I see. I noticed that sometimes there's several emergencies going on and there will be delayed. So how do you guys determine who's going to get that first call sometimes?
So we try to keep up with technology times as best we can. We do communicate through each other through radio traffic, and we have some onboard computers with some GPS locations, so we could see who's closer and to what vehicle. Do we need a cut for that? Oh, sorry. So we're able to determine who's closer through our computer automated dispatch and send the closest unit. When 2 911 calls come in at the same time, we just send out the appropriate resources as they come in. And when we run out, we rely on our mutual aid and automatic aid partners of LA County Fire Department to supplement what where we come short in our city, and then vice versa. When they call, we send our resources out as we can.
Okay, so you support one another, basically.
Yes.
Oh, good. And also, I wanted to ask you, a lot of times people think the fire department just goes out and turns off fires. Can you explain to our residents what else you guys are involved in?
Yeah, so the fire department's evolved over the last really 30 years into all aspects of community service. So traditionally we were sent to fires really as a result of insurance companies wanting to not have to pay out so much in the early times. We've taken on large chunks of community service, such as emergency medicine. The fire department has traditionally in this area been the birthplace of paramedics in Los Angeles County. The city of West Covina has been a provider of advanced life support since the 70s when the programs were first made. Our city additionally will respond to calls for urban search and rescue, the flooding conditions like we saw on the Central Coast over the last few years after the rainstorms. We've sent our own resources up there to handle flood and watershed events. We also do the fire prevention, where we'll send out our fire department inspectors to ensure code compliance with our businesses and construction sites. And additionally, we do have a presence in the technical rescue side of things. If we were to have a confined space or a urban search and rescue or even a hazmat event, that we could at least start to get the emergency handled before we call on the resources that we might need outside the city.
Wow, that is so much more than even I thought you guys did. That's a lot to handle.
Like to stay busy.
Right, and it seems like it. Is there anything that you want our residents to know about you guys or yourself?
No, I'd just like to let everyone know that West Covina is open for business. We're ready to support, as a fire department, everything we can in this community, and that look forward to holding on to this job as long as the community needs me in here to support everyone as much as we need.
Well, Chief Hambel, thank you once again for joining me here on the Original Red Couch.
My pleasure. Happy to be here.
Thank you. And there you have it, everyone. You heard it from the chief himself about safety issues that we should all have in place. Anybody looking to buy, sell, or refinance, please reach out to me. And any agents looking to join a growing office, please reach out to me. I would love the opportunity to speak to you. And please don't forget to like me on Facebook, follow me on Instagram, and subscribe to my YouTube channel for the opportunity for you to win in our weekly drawing. And I look forward to having you join me here next week on the Original Red Couch Talk. Once again, thank you very much.
Thank you.